everyone, I'm Yolanda Soto Lopez from the Art Crafts channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so, that way you never miss a new video. If you see anything you like, be sure to hit that like button, put any comments below, and let's get the party started! This this glass container and these rocks from the dollar store, so you need one of those. And then you're going to need some green yarn in any color you like, and then some red, or you could use yellow, orange, pink, whatever color you want if you want to add the little flowers. And then I used H hook, and the H hook is a number 8. It's 5 millimeters. So if you want to make it bigger, you can use a bigger hook, or for smaller ones use a smaller hook. To begin, you're going to take your green yarn and your H hook, or whatever hook you decide to use, and here I'm going to leave a little tail. I'm going to go ahead and chain 13. If you want to make your cactus a little taller, you can do that too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here on the second chain from the hook, remember this doesn't count as a chain. That's 1, 2. I'm going to do a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across, so I should have 12 stitches. So I'm going to yarn over. I go into that second chain right there. There should be 3 loops of yarn on your hook, and then you're going to go through all 3. That creates your stitch. You're going to do that for each chain all the way across until you have your 12 half double crochets. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and work on our second row. Okay, there, I finished my first row. Let me get some more yarn here. Here now, to go up to my second row, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to turn my work over, and now for the next rows, you're going to work several rows, and we're only going to go into if you see here, you can see there's the front and back loop of our stitches. So here we're just going to go into the back loop of our chains, our stitches here. We're not going through both loops. And you're going to do that in every stitch, half double crochet. And it's going to create the ridge for our cactus. So every row from now on, you're going to turn your work when I get to the end, and then you're going to work your 2 chains to go up, and then you're going to work a half double crochet in every stitch, but only in the back loop. Okay, here, so I finished all my 10 rows, and now what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go ahead and just fold this work like this together, okay? And it's actually easier if I fold it towards me. Now I'm going to go through every stitch here, the loop behind me, and I'm going to just work like a slip stitch. I'm going to have to just kind of pull that through there. If you want to do it with a needle, you can, but here I'm just going to go through the back loop of that first row, and then into the bottom, the foundation row that is created from the previous, like your beginning stitch. So this one will have only one little row, one little loop, because that's the foundation row, and here is row 10. So I'm just going to slip stitch, go to the next stitch, back loop only, then go to the next stitch here, trying to work a little bit closer, just like that, and you're going to go all the way across until you've joined this and it's a little tube. Okay, so that is my last stitch. Here's the tail from where I started. Now here I'm going to cut this a little long tail, pull this through here, and then now you can see that I have a little tube. This is for the first little cactus. This tail can just go in there. I'm not going to worry about it now. Now with the tail that I just made, I'm going to use a needle here. Let me fold this over so it could be nice. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go in this here and just kind of in and out, in and out. Grab the top of my stitches like that. Go through, in and out, in and out. Make sure you get every row. I'm going to put this tail into the inside here a second. I think I'm going to use my hook to kind of grab it. Pull it through. So once you do that, I'm going to pull this tight. So I'm closing the top like that. Okay? And then I can just go across and make sure I close that little hole. Just tight. Make a little knot here, and then I'm going to pull that knot into the inside of my work. So that knot was there, but I'm going to put my needle in, pull it to the inside, here out, and I've pulled it all the way through. So now this is the first little cactus. I'm going to put it aside now. I'm not going to stuff it yet. These are my tails. So that's the first little cactus. Now we're going to go ahead and work on our next cactus. For the next cactus here, it's a different style one. I wanted to give you more than one style. So here I'm going to get my yarn. I'm going to do the magic circle for this. So the magic circle, the tail is here. I'm going to go around, loop it. Then I bring that tail to the back. Everybody does their magic circle a little bit different. So I'm going to grab the yarn and go ahead and close that off right there. So now for this, I'm going to chain one, and you're going to be needing a little stitch marker, and then I'm going to do 8 single crochets into the circle. So go ahead and do 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So here I have 8 single crochets into my circle. Now I'm going to pull this shut. Okay. I'm going to grab a stitch marker, and you're going to be working in rounds here, so we're not going to be joining anything together. So let me grab my stitch marker and we will go on to row number 2. Okay, you're going to be using a stitch marker from now on. So here we're going to go on to round number 2. For round number 2, I'm going to start here, the first one just with a regular single crochet. And once you do this here, I'm going to put my stitch marker to keep track of my rounds. And now the pattern is going to be 1 single crochet, and then the next one is an increase, so your next stitch will have 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And now your next stitch is 1 single crochet. Repeat that, the next one, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Started getting bigger, but I can just pull it shut if I need to. So now you're going to repeat that same pattern until you have until you have 10 rounds. So just like here where we did 10 rows, here we're doing 10 rounds, repeating the same pattern, except that here the first your next row is going to just be 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then the next pattern is 1 single crochet and then an increase. So basically the first even rows here will have an increase. The odd rows have only 1 single crochet. I'll put the instructions here on the screen so you don't get confused. So row 3 would be only 1 single crochet in every stitch. Row 4 would be the pattern repeats again, 1 single crochet and then an increase with 2 single crochets. Okay, so here I want to show you how the pattern is coming out. So here now I'm on row 5. I finished row 5, which was 1 single crochet in every stitch, And so here, remember row 1 was 8 single crochets, then row 2 we did our increase with 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Row 3 was just 1 single crochet, row 4 had that increase again. Row 5 through 10, now here for row 5 through 10 we're only going to have 1 single crochet in every stitch. There's no more increases after this. Rows 2 and 4 have the increases, the rest are all just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my 10 rows and then we'll come back and work on that second little part of our little of this cactus. Okay, I finished my 10 rows here. So now here I'm going to be doing 2 rows of decreases, and then after that I'm going to do 2 rows of only 1 single crochet in each stitch. So here for my first 2 stitches on row 11, let me get this yarn here, sorry God. I'm going to go into my next stitch, pull out, but don't finish that stitch next, go into the next one, pull it out, so there'll be 3 loops. I'm going to go through all 3, so I decreased 2 stitches into 1, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and then I repeat that all the way across. Decrease, the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next 2. 1, move that little tail out of the way. 2. Now decrease. So those are just 2 rows of decreases, and now I'm just going to do 2 rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then I'll be done with this portion of this little cactus. There's still another little part of this left. Oops. It's getting smaller, so it's harder to hold. So here's 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then I'll come back and then we'll work on the little other piece that is going to get sewn onto here. So go ahead and do 2 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'm going to leave a little tail, just pull it out. Okay. And so this portion of that piece of that cacti is done. Now we're going to do another little piece that will sew onto here to kind of connect. Okay, so that's the first little piece there. So now you should have this one and this one. So now we're going to do the next part that goes sewn onto here. And remember, you can use whatever shade of green you like. I just like that color there. So this one we're also going to be working on a little piece that will be sewn here. So I'm also going to start with my magic circle down here. For this one, I'm going to chain 1. This time I'm only going to add 6 single crochets. 1. If your circle starts getting too big, you could close it a little bit, but don't close it all the way. 2. So here's 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you want to do different size ones, remember you just need to change the size of your hook. I kind of split the yarn there, I'm sorry about that. So now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to have to use my stitch marker once again. So here on this one I'm going to do 1 single crochet on the next stitch. This is round 2. Let me put my stitch marker there. And now I'm going to do an increase. So the next one I'm going to do 2 single crochets. 1. Get some more yarn here. And 2. Repeat with only 1 single crochet the next. Then here, 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, 1 single crochet, and then here 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, just like that. This is getting a little bit big there. So now here I'm going to do, so that's 1, 2, and then for rows 3 to 8 we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch, so there's no increases. So here rows 3 to 8, do 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then you can fasten off. Leave a little tail because we're going to need that little tail to sew on our little piece onto the other cactus. Okay, so here rows 3 to 8, 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'll come back when I've done this, and then we'll attach our little piece to the other cacti here. Okay, I finished my 8 rows. I'm going to leave a long tail so that I can sew on my little piece here. I can go ahead and just pull this out, okay? And so here, this is going to go onto this piece. It's not going to look this way because I'm going to kind of gather it. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm not going to stuff it. I'm trying to make it look a little bit flatter. If you want to put a little bit of stuffing, you can. So this one, I'm just going to go around like this, in and out, around my end. And if you can see, it's just gone there. I didn't do it too tight. I didn't do it like pull it a lot. So there it is, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and get a little knot on there. So this is going to be flat like that, and then I'm going to sew it here onto my other cactus. You can put it whichever side you want. It's really not critical. Just make sure you don't oops, I just lost the, make sure you don't sew this one flat because I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing on there. You can stuff it first if you want. Okay, got it. I'm just going to sew this on here. Right there, and then connect it here to my piece so it doesn't fall off, and make my little knot. Once I make the knot, I'm going to put my needle into the center, be careful, and then pull it out just so that I could put in my tail there. So this is just how I'm going to do this one, okay? Okay, so I have 2 of my little cacti done. Like I said, you can do whichever, if you want to put another little small one here, you can. So now I'm going to do the flowers. You don't have to do the flowers. I'm going to use this little cotton yarn, or you can use an acrylic yarn. It's totally up to you. I'm moving down to a smaller hook, the B hook, which is a 2.25 in the boil hook. So for here, I'm going to go ahead and make a magic circle, magic loop. There we go. And now I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to do here 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go ahead and close this off. I know it's kind of small, so it's kind of hard to see. But now I'm going to work around in my round. I'm not going to be doing rows. Okay, so here for the first stitch, I'm going to go into my next stitch. I'm going to slip stitch there to close my circle. Now, well, here's my stitch marker. Good thing I found it. So here I'm going to chain 1, 2, and then in that next stitch I'm going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, I'm going to chain 2. So there I have my 2 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into my same stitch, just like that. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, the next chain there, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochets into the same stitch, 1 and 2, chain 2, 1, 2. I know it's kind of hard to see, but then I'm going to slip stitch into the same stitch. You're going to repeat this until you have 5 petals. So here's 1, 2, and then here I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. So here is the little flower. You can make more or less of them. It's just a tiny little flower. And you decide which one of your, I'm going to kind of bend them like this. I'm going to use my yarn needle. This is the stitch that was from the center circle. This is where we just finished working. I'm going to just kind of sew my tail in here to just kind of get rid of it, weave it in. I don't want this tail showing. Cut that off. And now for the tail that you use when you started your flower, the center loop. This one, now you can sew your flowers. You can make as many as you want, whatever color you want. They're kind of small. I kind of push them this way, or you can make them flat. It's totally up to you. And you can put them here on your cactus. If you want to put more than one, you decide how you're going to put it. I'm going to put this one right here with this tail. I'm just going to sew it up right there. These are just decorative, so you put them wherever you want. And the cactus have different colors, so you could use red, yellow, orange, whatever color you want. And then once I sew it on there, it's right there. I'm going to go ahead and make a little knot, and then I'm going to pull in my tail. Oops, here, let me get that again. I'm going to pull in the tail to the inside of the work so it won't show. I'm going to go into there, and then you can pull it out anywhere. And then just tug on it a little bit. You can cut that tail off, and then when you release it, it'll go hide back into there. So there's one flower. You can put as many as you want. You can put them on the tip, on the top. You can see how it's looking there. And then I'm going to come back, and then we'll start stuffing these and getting ready to put them into our container. You can do more, or just one or two, or whatever you want. I'm going to make a couple of little ones like this one, just with the 8 stitches, and stick them around here at the bottom, or you could put flowers and do them whichever way you want. Okay, so here I've made several of these. I made 2 of these different color shade cactus. Here's the one we made, and here I just put a little yellow dot. Just made some little flowers here. I made another little one to add. So for my container, you can get whichever kind. You could get a clay pot. You could get this kind. I just bought this at the Dollar Tree, and the little rocks. I just fill this up. So here what I'm going to do, I just got bamboo skewer, like for cooking. You could also cut pieces of straw, whatever you need, just something to kind of anchor it and hold it. For my round ones here, I'm just going to use a little bit of polyfill. This is just polyester, but you could use cotton ones. Just going to fill it up a little bit, not too much because you want it to be nice and soft. So once I have it there, I want to give it a little bit more shape on the bottom. I'm going to get my needle here and just thread my yarn through, and just kind of a little bit, not too much. Just go through the bottom like I did on the top. I'm not going to squeeze it all the way shut. I just want to give it a little bit of shape. Oops. Just drop the end there. Somebody told me I should edit out all my errors, but I know that's good. So once I have it out there, now I'm just going to put one of the little sticks in the middle, just like that. You don't even have to put it yet. You could do it at the end. Squeeze it a little bit, not shut, not all the way. Just going to make a little knot. And then I could cut the yarn, the little tail, and you're going to do that with the other pieces. So then when you have just a little skewer, you could use, if you don't have skewers, you could use straws, or you could even just bury the tail and stand it up, either way. So then you're just going to stick them into your dish. So see, the little skewer just kind of holds it in place. So you can see how it's not going to fall off. And then when you finish, if you want, you could add more rocks. Totally up to you.